Get her. Slide her down that way a little bit. Okay. For starters, we'll start to show what's called ringing. So you grab the, like I said, you got to be careful because of these horns. So you always grab it. Grab it with my left hand when I'm ringing. So I grab it with that coming right the horn, right in between that finger, and hold on tight. Okay. And there's a bone that comes out on that right there into the side. If you can see that bone right there?
Yeah. Okay, right.
I only go to that. I ring at an angle, and you just need to break the skin.
Okay. And then is that the same for the channels and the flathead?
Yeah. Here are Catfish pliers, pinchers. I use the stainless steel ones because they're way better. And then I've got a hook here, just a regular. Actually it's a gaff hook for taking fish out of gill nets is what it is. And I just put it on there myself. It works really good. And then you grab him like this here, like that, and put him right over the hook. Pulling that side, and 3. You should be able to skin a catfish with 3. 1, 2, 3.
So those flatheads are just a little bit tougher.
They're tougher.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just tougher.
Nice.
All right. Not bad.
Here's how you do the cheek. So the cheek meat lays start just above the eye, and it comes right around here like this. You can actually see it right there. So,
sure.
And it's concave in there. It's hard to keep your knife tight in there because it's dished in there, and the eye socket. So you just come around here like this. There'll be a couple sharp bones right in there on top.
Just kind of fillet it out of
Yeah.
that.
Flathead's a lot worse to get the cheek out than the channel.
That is a chunk of meat. I mean,
Yeah.
That's a deceivingly. I wouldn't have thought those cheeks were that big.
And just keep your knife tight into the inside of the eye socket. And then just grab it, very carefully cut it. There you go. And then on a flathead, to take the belly off, the bone's in right there. So you come in at an angle with your knife, like this, and cut it right along there like that. And you can actually see how tight I was to the bones.
Oh wow.
Those are the bones.
Oh.
Same thing on this side. You come in at an angle. Now there's no bones in either of them pieces. So cut that off. We'll cut that off. That's good. Now we're going to make them into selects when we're done. So we'll throw them in there.
Holy mackerel. Does that have a walleye in it?
Red Horse sucker.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a hearty meal.
That's a hearty meal. You ain't a kid, it is. Now when you're taking the cheeks off, always start with the eye toward you. And you hold on to the eye. That gives you something. That's why you leave the eye in there.
Okay.
That gives you something to hold on to. So you take your fingers and come right in there like that, flip it off, and then you always want to just feel. So there's a bone right there, and you don't want to see that bone?
Mm-hmm.
You want that out of it. So, and that's about as big of a cheek as I like to fry whole right there. That's about max.
You were saying a lot of guys, they're not even taking these, huh?
Oh no, most people don't. The commercial fishermen do. Most commercial fishermen do take them, but the sport fishermen don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when you're filleting the channel cat, right there is exactly where the rib cage. So you start here and you come around this rib cage and it comes to exactly the top of that fin right there. Right there. So you come down, fillet off, and there's that.
What's the weirdest thing you ever find in one of these fish?
Well, in channel cat, I have found ducks, teal, mud hens, found a watch.
Wow.
A full wrist watch once, a ring,
Okay.
a gold. Well, it wasn't because it was corroded, but yeah, we do find some.
Not
A quarter.
All right.
But they eat that. They see something shiny on the bottom. They,
Sure.
they eat it. Okay, now we'll make them into select. Now there's 2 pounds, so there's 2 pounds of cheeks there, so that's $20.
Right.
So let's say I'm doing 1,000 pounds. That's $200.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And
it adds up.
And it's some extra
Yeah,
effort,
yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that much trouble.
It's
really.
no, and that's, I mean, you know, versus if you're drinking beer and you're having 4 or 5 guys, that's all you need for a great hors d'oeuvre.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you're
God.
not looking for it to be your main meal.
No, and the thing about it is, it's like, if you're having a party and you got a bunch of people over and you know, it's like, it's such a controversial, man, these are catfish cheese. What? Oh, come on. You know, it's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, here's some cod, you know, or,
Right.
you know, or here's some catfish, you know.
Well, and like you were saying earlier, it's not necessarily the money on the commercial side. It's just the waste.
The waste, yeah. So what I do is I'll take that and I'll cut it in 4 places on that bigger fillet.
And that's the main fillet.
That's the main fillet.
Okay.
So you can see this fat on the back there. So most people, they'd be serving that fillet and you'd be eating that and you.
A little
Yep,
yellow.
sure. When you go to a fish fry, most fish fries you'll go to, and I mean, and everybody's done it. And you get your fish dinner, and oh God, it looks beautiful. And it's like, oh my God, and you take the first bite, oh, it's to die for. Second bite's to die. Third bite, you spit it back up. You go, ugh.
Right.
You got that. That's what
Okay.
you got.
It's that peachy color.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
up
fat.
towards
So
the
that's cut
spine,
off,
right?
and then there's the mud line. See that line?
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly visible line. So you come straight in on that, right on the right side of it, straight in, and when you get to you think you're at the bottom of the skin, don't cut through the skin, turn your knife and butterfly that off. So now you've got that on the back. And that red stuff, okay? So you fillet that off. Now that's a select. You want to get all that off there. So that's how big I cut. I mean, that's what I like, a 1 inch, roughly a 1 inch square.
Okay, they're little
that's
bites.
little bites. You can, I mean, if you get it at 90%, you're fine.
And that fat that you're talking about cutting off, where's that located then?
Right on the back.
Right on the
see
back.
that yellow?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's all fat. So that's all fat. These are going to be channels. We're going to keep. So here's the flathead fillet. Okay, that's flat.
That's a chunk of meat.
There's no bones in that.
Right.
So
That's impressive.
So what we'll do is we just take that, cut down to it, but you've got to get this membrane. You've got to get that membrane
yeah, sure,
off.
you don't want that.
So you fillet that off.
And that membrane is what would be on the inside.
Inside
of the, fish
the
where
lining.
guts were.
That's the
Yeah.
stomach lining. So you've got to fillet that off.
All right, so now I am rinsing the catfish selects. These are the flatheads, right, Mike?
Those are the flathead.
All right, so we're just looking for anything that looks real bloody. That all looks good. And these aren't even fried yet, and they look delicious. Almost reminds me of like
Almost
color.
looks like scallops.
I was just gonna say scallop. Yeah, just the color and the size of it when you cut them up that way.
So these little, I mean, these are small, so you can clean them just like a bluegill. But when you're filleting it, you want that fat strip off. Will be more prevalent on that.
Okay, gotcha.
That fat strip tastes like I mean, you can't eat it. Only fish in the world that's got rocks in its brain. It's got two rocks in its brain cavity. Highly prized amongst Native Americans, and it's believed to bring you good luck. The bigger the stone, the more it was prized. There's chiefs in the Trimpolo Mounds up in Trimpolo, Wisconsin, that had whole necklaces of these stones around. That's what they're very to bring it. Supposed to bring good luck.
Are they basically born and grow with that rock in there, or do they like
Oh yeah, no, they're born with it. Yep.
swim around and find a rock
Yep.
like you'll go in my
And if you're ever if you're sitting in a boat and you hear like a grunt, like a pig grunting,
Right.
like it's hard to, you know, that's when they're grinding those together. If you're real quiet on a boat, you sit there, you'll hear that grunt, and that's what they're doing. So the brain cavity or the stones are located. That line ain't real. There's the line. So that line right there on this gill plate line, right there, the stones are located right there. There's one and there's one. So we'll wash them off.
Look at that.
Super cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have seen those before. I think I
Yeah.
just didn't realize it was out of a sheep.
Here, you can wash them off, and you guys can have them.
Pretty cool.
What scoring is he got a machine. He's got an actual machine. But if you were going to do this by hand, you'd run this down every 1/8 inch through the bones to the skin.
Okay, So there's still a lot of bones in that fillet right there.
Full of bones.
Okay.
But if you cut it, we'll just actually cut it for him, then he ain't got to get his machine dirty.
Out.
All right, so we're gonna any kind of beer. It doesn't really matter. But I just dump some in, put the beer in there, and then I take a little bit of water and rinse the bottle out. Good enough. Give me another one.
Oh, okay.
Get the man another beer.
Yeah.
He's working hard. One for me.
2 for me, 1
You guys are more than welcome. All right.
Yeah.
Do that, and then we'll do the cheeks. So.
We were talking about this earlier, like, when you see beer battered fish, is that what this is, or is this a different process than beer batter?
Beer batter is where the beer's mixed in the batter. It's actually the batter.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
so
sense.
we're gonna put just a little bit of seasoning, so little pepper. Don't need a lot.
Okay.
And we'll do a little thyme leaves. And there's some seasoning salt right behind you right there in that one.
This guy, honey garlic?
Nope, right
Oh.
there, that seasoned salt where it says with the red.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep. A little bit of that. You don't actually need seasonings if you don't want. I mean, just the beer does wonders.
Okay, gotcha.
The beer actually breaks the fish down.
Oh, yeah, the alcohol in it.
Yeah, the alcohol in it. It just you wait till it's just a world of difference. So
Mix her up.
we'll just stir that up a minute. Those are our cheeks. These are our channel cats. So we're going to do this so you guys can, we can taste the difference.
Sure.
Set that one in the walk-in cooler on the
Yep.
floor. That one goes in the walk-in cooler. Jimmy, mark on the floor. And then these are the flatheads, so we'll put those in the walk-in cooler.
So,
right.
we're going to talk about, this is also a very important step, right?
Yes, so we're gonna take them out of the beer, and when we're doing fish fries, a lot of times we're doing hundreds of pounds at a time. So we reuse the beer, and then throughout you can add a few beers, if you want. So we're gonna do the catfish cheeks first. So we'll just take them out of the beer. Now we're gonna be doing another fish fry tonight, so we're gonna reuse this beer. So we're gonna put the catfish cheeks here. What I do is I put them on an elevated tray. So this runs down, and I'll put a bucket there, so the beer runs down in. So
You don't want a lot of beer sitting around.
you don't want to squeeze it out of them. You don't want to squeeze all the beer out, but you want it to just, you don't want them real wet.
Sure,
What I'm
gotcha.
saying. So now the breading, I always put it in a big plastic bag, and when we're done, I put it right back in the freezer.
Oh, no kidding.
Keep it in the freezer. That way it's good forever.
Okay.
I mean, you shake it up, good, go. You'll never ever waste one kernel of breading. Use it till it's gone, get a new bag, go do the same thing.
Okay.
So, all right, we're gonna, like I said, pre-breading is hugely important, especially on a high humidity day. So I want to check my oil, see where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I don't want to pre-bread any more than a minute to 2 minutes ahead.
Okay.
So the worst possible thing you can do when you're frying fish is to have a bunch of your friends in there pre-breading and bread all your trays of fish. It builds moisture in the outside breading, and it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
So,
All right, good to know.
yep. So we'll shake these up. We'll start with the cheeks, then we'll go to the flatheads, and then we'll go to the channels. And then, so when you pick them out, another thing out of the breading, just put them in there, shake them, pick them out. Not a whole bunch of extra breading on the fish. So
Okay.
just keep the breading in the bag. And then my breading is 50% Fry Magic, 50% pancake flour. Use whatever you want. You can. It doesn't matter what's buttermilk, pancake, regular pancake. It doesn't matter. And then I'm a little bit of seasoned salt, a little bit of thyme, some oregano, some sweet basil, some rosemary, a little bit of pepper. You can put whatever you want in with it. Mix it all up super good. I do it in 5-gallon buckets. I take a Milwaukee drill, I put that on the end of it, just a regular drywall thing, and then I'm mixing it with that.
Okay.
Super good. Oh, and the other key ingredient, cornmeal. So I'm probably 50% Fry Magic or Fry Crisp. You can get, I can show you. Fry Crisp is really good too. And then 40% pancake flour and probably 10% cornmeal.
Okay.
If you want a little bit more of a cornmeal, add more cornmeal. If you want more pepper, add more pepper. You want Cajun, put some Cajun in. See.
Not exact science, just kind of doing it. to
Yeah,
taste
just a little here.
bit.
I've done
Yeah.
it so much. I've done, But one thing about that breading is it's a universe. It's good for cheese curds. It's good for fish, turtle, gator. It doesn't matter. Mushrooms, anything. It's a great universal breading.
Awesome.
So I'm going to check the smoker or the
Now, Mike,
cooker here.
Mike, real quick now,
Yeah.
if a person doesn't want to go through that process, is this the same stuff that's for sale up front on the counter?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Same exact breading. Yeah. So all right.
How about that thing looked like it was on?
I had it too
turbo
high.
mode.
It's in it. Yeah. And that's another thing. Peanut oil heats way quicker than regular oil. It doesn't take near as long.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So did you turn that
I turned it
down?
off.
Okay.
Yeah, because you do not want to burn, no matter what kind of oil, you don't want to burn your oil.
No, then
Right.
it completely
It's done.
degrades.
It degrades the whole thing. It has to throw it right in the garbage. So we'll do these cheeks first. Less time in the oil. If you're frying at 350 versus 400, it's double time in the oil.
Oh, okay.
Double time.
Not double the temperature, but double the time.
Double the time from 350 degrees.
Yeah.
I always tell people, when you think it's done, go 10 more seconds.
Okay.
Because an undercooked piece of fish is not good. An overcooked piece of fish is, that's okay,
Okay, sure.
That's really good, though. Oh my gosh.
That's so good. It's just got really, really interesting texture, like you're talking
When you
about.
break it apart, it is a lot like a scallop. It's
It's kind of segmented, or
is.
it's got
Stringy.
striations or
Yeah.
stringing. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
like it peels apart like a scallop. Yeah. Yep.
Well, whatever it is, it's delicious.
Well, you guys eat them up, and we'll go out and we'll try the flathead next time. See, that's how you want the breading to look.
Oh dear, those look good.
Yes.
These were swimming about 3 hours ago.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Very good.
really good.
Thank you.
I guess I'd say maybe I like the cheeks more, but they're just different.
They're different. Yeah.
They're just
they're definitely different.
It's tough to say that one is really better than the other.
Right.
I will say this. Camera guy. I'm gonna stall more so you can't get in there, but there's much like hunting deer, turkey, whatever else. There's something special about eating up fish that you caught like 3 or 4 hours ago too. That's pretty neat.
Give Cooper a break here. He's been holding this camera all day. What do you think, dude?
That was good. Dang, that's good.
I mean, that's tough to beat. I'd put that up against any fish in the world.
Literally,
Any
yeah.
fish in the world.
Literally, it is.
100%.
It's crazy. It just always takes me back, like you had mentioned earlier, the whole catfish is fishy tasting. It's not.
No.
Zero. Like
No,
not
none.
even the ballpark. It's crazy.
And the best part of it is you can fry, like I said, you can fry 10,000 pounds of it, and you ain't getting fishy taste.
No.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, I completely forgot about actually like thinking even of the fishy taste because well, I forgot to mention that. But there is none.
Zero.
I will say this, my respect for Cooper now and knowing how he felt having to just like stand there and video us eating all that fish. Sorry. I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. But actually, not really though, because now I'm eating fish again.
There you go.
like we've gotten a crash course in everything catfish today.
Yep. A cat pod.
My understanding and confidence level to come out here and do this myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
through the rough right now.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. One other important thing that I forgot to mention is when people are doing fish fries, they always want to stir it, stir it, stir it.
Oh yeah.
You know, constantly want to stir it. No, you don't need to stir it. Right after you put the fish in, it is a very good thing to very gently just move them around in case there is any stuck together. That's the only thing I do. But I mean, I'm babying the ladle.
And otherwise you're going to disturb your batter.
Disturb the batter and the batter will all fall off. Yep.
Well, see, the other problem is why we do cut them that small, is because if you cut them 3 times that big, it ain't gonna get done in the middle. Well, I hope you can tell the difference, and this is our channel cat, so
They got a distinct taste.
Oh,
That's like
there is a difference. I mean, if somebody like tried to have me vividly explain what it is, I'd have a hard time. But these are a little bit, the texture is different too. These are a little bit like, I don't want to say tougher because they're not tough, but if you had to compare the two, this
Right.
would be a little bit tougher.
Yeah. And maybe a little fishier. Not as sweet. They're not as sweet.
Yeah,
Flathead
that's
are
what I
sweeter.
would say. Yeah, these
Yeah.
don't have quite like a sweet flavor to them or something like that. Have yet to have one where I'm like, bleh.
No, and you won't. Fresh catfish we just fried up. If you want to try a piece.
I don't think it's, I mean, we're just gonna go over there maybe and introduce, we're just getting done here, we'll just go over there and mess around a little bit and show them.
Pull them up just this morning.
And that, so,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to.
All right, first half of the day is wrapped up here with Mike. We just got done frying up what we caught this morning, or pulled out of nets. I should say we didn't really catch it necessarily, but we did help pull it out of the nets and everything and join along. And these are catfish selects with a little bit of Mike's homemade tartar sauce on top. We're actually going to be able to share with you his recipes. He's a cool guy in that it's not like super secret family recipe that he's never going to be able to tell you guys. You literally will be able to make up this stuff yourself. He wants people to be able to experience how good catfish truly can be. This is a channel cat. We had flatheads and cheeks. Mark, talk, because I want to eat this.
Okay, Jim's knocking down one of the last few pieces of the channel catfish. Phenomenal, phenomenal. We're breaking down barriers. We're dispelling myths about catfish. They're oftentimes thought of as maybe less desirable or fishy or even inedible. Mike's obviously proven that that is not the case. We had a blast helping them catch these things in hoop nets this morning. It's just been a wild, wild, cool experience. I really don't have enough positive things to say.
No, it honestly shouldn't come as a surprise to people, because how often do you hear people talk about things like antelope or other wild game species that are on land, and they say, oh, well, you know, they get a bad rap just because people don't clean them right.
They don't take care of it
take
right,
care of
yeah.
it right when it's, you know, either been shot or harvested and all that stuff.
And it's really, it's not their fault. Like, honestly, before today, I wouldn't have known how to do any of this stuff. They're a pretty technical fish to clean. There's a lot going on with the catfish compared to some other types of fish.
A lot of steps. The
Yeah.
sheephead he had done in like no time.
Yeah.
Filleted, boom, done. Catfish, it took a little bit. There's a lot of steps.
End result, totally worth it.
Yes. We'll see what happens. Mike's got a lot in store for us. This is kind of nice actually. We don't even have to dictate what's going on. Mike kind of knows what's up.
He
knows what to do.
Take good care of this.
So, all right, stay tuned.